hi! Now, I faced a lot of disappointment in my life. The time my favourite TV show got cancelled, the time my dad said he'd put a picture up for me, the time Scarlett told me she had a really cool birthmark when really it was just a mouldy toenail. But the most disappointing thing are when video games get cancelled.
Making a video game is hard, finishing one's even harder. Some games are just not meant to be. I mean, video games and disappointment have gone hand in hand for years. One of the most obvious cases being Sonic Extreme, spelt wrong. This game was cursed from a troubled development to the people at Sega just not liking the game. So eventually, after nearly about 3 years, it was cancelled. I mean, looking at it now, I don't feel like we missed much. I do think Sonic Adventure is a much better game that ended up coming out. But I mean, I love Sonic Adventure. And I want to talk about this more at length in the future, so I'm going to hold off on it for now. But yeah, it doesn't look that good. Another Sonic game that got cancelled was Sonic Extreme, spelled correctly. This, as far as we know, was a skateboarding game with Sonic and Shadow, and it was also just a tech demo, and it was rumoured that the game was meant to be like more. But apparently, the basic Sonic the Hedgehog skateboarder wasn't very good.
What?
Super Mario 64, we all love it. I mean, I don't love it exactly, but I mean, it's up there, sure. It was going to have a sequel, but plans fell through. Why would this happen, you're asking? Well, it would have been for the Nintendo 64 DD, an add-on for the 64. And if you're sat wondering, what's a Nintendo 64 DD? Well, that's why the game got scrapped. It sucked ass. The game itself was meant to have like Mario and Luigi, apparently, and that would have made a lot of Ellie's Real fans really happy. But again, the game just fell through early in development because of how awful the DD was performing. One game that didn't fall through and was actually finished was Half-Life for the Dreamcast. It was going to be basically the same game as the PC version, but on the Dreamcast. The game was finished, but it was never released due to the Dreamcast doing what it does best, and dying. The cool thing about this game is that we can actually play it right now. All you need to do is burn a copy of the files onto a disc and play it that way, or emulate it. Half-Life Blue Shift was also included with the game. However, I wouldn't really know because I've never really been the biggest Half-Life fan. Speaking of Half-Life fan, we've got to mention Half-Life 2 Episode 3. Little is known about this game, other than it was meant to be released for Christmas 2007, but that never happened. And the game was just abandoned, leaving players on a cliffhanger for over 16 years. Half-Life 3 is another Half-Life game that got cancelled. It was being developed with the Source 2 engine in mind, but plans fell through as the Source 2 engine still needed to be developed. And this was never, ever released. Although, myself and many other people still hold out a bit of hope for this game's eventual release. Oddly enough, there was a cancelled Donkey Kong 2 port, Donkey Kong Country 2 that is, but for the Virtual Boy, development got, so far, only to the title screen. And frankly, we didn't miss much. I mean, we all know how awful the Virtual Boy is. And don't worry, I can say its name now. It is so dead this time.
So, those were just some cancelled games throughout time. Some good, some bad, some we don't know enough about to judge. However, I don't like talking about this that much, because I always feel like there's just another universe where a bunch of people are just having a really fun time with a game we never got. However, I then remember that this is the universe that got Imagine Fashion Model. So yeah, well the fuck's Half-Life 3 at the end of the day?